looking at Bariloche. It's very easy to think that this is just a beautiful place full of beautiful people. But the city holds a seriously dark secret. Hundreds of Nazis came here at the end of World War II. Senior SS generals, Auschwitz's angel of death, and more than likely, the leader of the Third Reich, Adolf Hitler himself. He could have found refuge here and stayed in this place, at the Anelka house.
We better not go there, you know? I don't know.
Well, I think we will go there.
ردپای هیتلر.
The evidence keeps stacking up that this would have been a route Hitler would have taken had he fled.
بابر متخصص CIA و جان سنسیج محقق جنایات جنگی با استفاده از مدارک به تازگی افشا شده FBI در پی آنند که مشخص کنند آیا هیتلر از آلمان به اسپانیا گریخته و در آنجا از شهر بندری ویگو با زیردریایی 3 ماه بعد خود را به ساحل آرژانتین رسانده است یا خیر.
Hitler could have left Vigo, Spain, and what we have in Argentina is a team that's looking for the possibility there's a scuttled U-boat here. They've been looking for days. We found what we thought could have been a piece of a U-boat, but the weather's coming in, so we need to keep digging. My problem is the distance from Vigo up here down to Argentina in a U-boat. Look at these things. It's not some place you would like to spend a couple weeks underwater. These are like big coffins. So he needs an intermediate stop, and that would be the Canary Islands off North Africa, which is in a way a no man's land.
در جزایر دورافتاده قناری در اسپانیا گروه مدارکی پیدا کردند که نشان میداد تعدادی از افراد محلی به طور مخفیانه از نازی‌ها حمایت می‌کردند.
Is he telling me there was an Enigma machine?
و شبکه‌ای از تونل‌ها در همان نزدیکی با فاصله تقریباً 1 کیلومتر که گفته شده مسئولیت تدارکات زیردریایی‌های آلمانی را در طی جنگ بر عهده داشته است.
He's telling me that there was in the island storage for torpedoes, some tunnels.
Could a U-boat have been resupplied in the Canary Islands, and could Adolf Hitler have used that location to make his way to South America?
Let's get Lenny and Gerard in these tunnels, see what they can find.
This whole myth of Spanish neutrality is just blown away for me.
فرمانده پیشین مارشال‌های آمریکا لنی دپال و خبرنگار مستقل جرارد ویلیامز به تونل‌هایی می‌روند که پایگاهی برای زیردریایی‌های آلمانی بوده که احتمالاً به هیتلر در سفرش به سمت آرژانتین یاری رسانده.
All the intel that we gathered here says the tunnels were specifically built for the Navy. The Navy kept their ammunition here, they kept their torpedoes. There's 7 kilometers of tunnels. That's enormous. And who supported it? Was it the Germans or was it General Franco? We need to find out either way.
خبرنگار محلی هاویر دوران مردی است که وجود این تونل‌های پنهان را افشا و امکان دسترسی گروه را به آنجا فراهم کرده است.
Okay. This is on a completely different scale. Look at the size of this blaster.
Yeah, I see.
What's that, 8 inches of steel?
Wow. We're getting past that thing. It's solid.
And this is, I mean, seriously military engineering from the 40s.
What is this?
Esto es un sistema de ventilación mecánica.
Is the ventilation system.
El manejo de explosivos de pólvora.
These rooms were isolated rooms to manipulate explosives.
Here, see the lip? So you're making a proper airtight seal when you close this.
Franco and Hitler in conversation about this place so they could protect the island, the Canary Islands?
O sea, Hitler estaba muy preocupado.
Of course, Hitler was really worried that Allied forces could invade the Canary Islands. So the next strategic point close to Africa and the entrance of Europe is here.
با وجودی که دیکتاتور اسپانیایی فرانکو در طی جنگ جهانی دوم اعلام بی‌طرفی کرد، از رژیم نازی حمایت می‌کرد. همین امر باعث به قدرت رسیدن او در طی جنگ داخلی اسپانیا شد. در 1940 فرانکو در آندای فرانسه با هیتلر دیدار کرد تا درباره استفاده مخفیانه او از جزایر قناری گفتگو کنند. گفته می شود فرانکو این پیشنهاد را در ازای امتیاز عدم پیوستن رسمی به نیروهای محور مطرح کرد.
36-39, the civil war in Spain. Your economy is a complete mess in 39. Something like this costs millions of dollars to build. Who paid for this?
Officially, all this was built with Spanish money.
Look at this, Joe. Aha!
Aha! That's how you carry your torpedoes.
There's the hoist. There's the hoist, runs the entire length of the tunnel. Look at that. All the way down.
They'll carry a lot of ammunition. In the early 40s, Spain has a really small navy. We've been in a room that could hold hundreds of torpedoes. Well, the only submarines that are in these waters that need torpedoes are Nazi submarines. It just goes on forever. It's an amazing neck. This is just too big for Spain in those days. It's got to be meant for somebody else, or it's got to be meant for Spain and a friend. And we know who that friend is. That friend is Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party.
Spain didn't have U-boats. They didn't have the kind of resources available to build something like this. Clearly, the Germans came in and built this for them. I don't care whose name the title was in. It was a German base.
These tunnels, they're far too expensive for the Spanish government, but we don't even have to look at the money. All we have to do is look at common sense. Why would the Spanish government develop an infrastructure for submarines when they don't have any submarines?
I think what we've established here, to my satisfaction, is that a U-boat could have been taken care of. Now, the question is, what would have happened to Hitler? I mean, we're not talking about he landed there for a couple hours. We're talking possibly weeks. They didn't move him in one of these tunnels to recuperate in the tunnel, I can tell you that. Hitler was not the Unabomber that lives out in a shack in the forest and turns off the electricity. You're taking somebody who is leading the Third Reich, and you have to protect him. What we need to do is spread out from the mere tunnels and look for known associates, any sort of other infrastructure which could take care of a human being to recuperate from a U-boat.
جان مدارک افشا شده را به دنبال اشاره‌ای به حامیان کلیدی نازی‌ها در جزایر دورافتاده قناری زیر و رو
We
می‌کند.
have a document here from the OSS of what the OSS are calling obnoxious Germans. This OSS document relates specifically to Gustav Winter.
It's not a term we use today, obnoxious, but what they're talking about is somebody on a terrorist watch list.
He was a German engineer. In 1930, he moved to the Canary Islands where he built a villa. And certain aspects of his villa became a militarized zone under Franco.
Well, I mean, look, somebody going down to the Canary Islands, buying or leasing a peninsula, building a villa in World War II, we're talking about essentially a base.
It's a satellite Nazi base.
Yeah, there's no other way to put it.
Is it a place where Hitler could have received the rest and recuperation that he really needed?
Let's get Lenny and Gerard in there. Let's see what they can find.
Gerard, look at the front of the house. Looks like some sort of an observation tower.
پس از یک ساعت رانندگی گروه 18 هکتار از زمین‌های اطراف ویلا وینتر را در میان کوههای آتشفشانی کاوش می‌کند.
You got one road in, one road out.
It's an isolated place.
Look how this is built. It's a fortress. They have vantage points on top of these mountains. I've hunted the worst of the worst. I've found them hiding in cabinets, behind trees, in tunnels. I would throw all that in the garbage to have a place like this if I was a fugitive. It's desolate. There's nothing here. Perfect spot for a safe house. A compound like that, there was somebody in that house that I needed to pull out of there. It'd be almost impossible for me to get to without anybody knowing I was coming. For a fugitive, it's a fortress. Perfect place to hide.
Here's our first glimpse of the sea.
تیم کندی عضو نیروهای ویژه ایالات متحده و گروهی از باستانشناسان دریایی شناخته شده اظهارات شاهدان عینی، مدارک نیروی دریایی آرژانتین و گزارش FBI را پیگیری می‌کنند که احتمال وجود یک زیردریایی غرق شده که آدولف هیتلر را از این منطقه به آمریکای جنوبی رسانده مطرح می‌کنند. پس از جستجوی 10 روزه در این آبها، گروه با طبیعت رو در رو شده است.
Crazy.
Golly. Jeez. This is crazy water here. Swells, wind, white caps. It's a sailor's worst nightmare. What would happen if we tried to put a boat out there?
The wind comes in this direction, and we try to go in like this. You would just
We hit a breaker and come up?
yes, and just
Honestly, I don't even think you'd get past the surface.
You get one wave over the side, the equipment's gone. More importantly, it's a safety issue for everybody on board.
it's just insane to go like this.
Yeah. Where we are this time of year, it's getting colder, wind's getting harder, storms are gonna be coming in. It's just getting rougher. We're grounded. All right, let's go. You can't do this stuff during the winter, and winter's here.
How much further we gotta go?
Not very much.
ردپای، جرالد ویلیامز و مترجم محلی آنها راه خود را به ملکی باز می‌کنند که زمانی متعلق به گوستاو وینتر بوده که نامی سرشناس در فهرست آلمانی‌های خطرناک دولت آمریکاست.
Villa Winters is built on 44.5 acres of Nazi land.
آنها به دنبال مدارکی هستند که نشان دهد هیتلر از این ویلا به عنوان استراحتگاه و خانه امنی برای تجدید قوا در سفر 11,000 کیلومتریش از اروپا به آمریکای جنوبی استفاده کرده است.
Boy, look at this.
Like something out of a James Bond novel, you know? This is where the baddies live.
Welcome to Villa Winter.
مالک فعلی که یک گروه سازنده املاک است، قصد دارد با تخریب ویلا اقامتگاهی تفریحی در این محل ایجاد کند. به گروه اجازه دسترسی به این ملک داده شده است.
Jared, look. See the glass?
It's not nice stuff.
I have no blueprints. I have nothing. So I have no idea exactly what we'll find here.
From that windows to the top roof, that is an electric lantern.
Okay. So I mean, it's possible that they could have been using this to signal to U-boats offshore, give them a point of reference, and it's not a difficult idea to think that you could be taken by small boats for those U-boats and...
Until here.
What goes on down here?
It's very interesting.
What was this place used for exactly?
A lot of rooms to many people to stay, no? Here can live at least 10 people, all these rooms.
It's like a little dormitory.
I mean, what's this?
What was down here?
I don't know. It's very strange.
This kind of reminds me of like a medical facility or something, you know, with the tile and the way it's set up in here.
Yeah, with an operating table in the middle. I mean, there are places where people can recuperate and recover and sleep and stay. This is an amazing safe house. If you've got a high-value target, you want to hide it somewhere, it's amazingly secure. So if you're a U-boat captain, it's a great place to aim for. And when people are arriving here exhausted or in need of some sort of medical help, they could rest here while a doctor treats them. This could be used to get high-ranking Nazi officials out of Germany and to safety.
Villa Winter, it's perfect if you take somebody like Adolf Hitler who needs medical treatment, bring him here for however long. On top of this, you have a known Nazi living there. I think this is a huge clue.
If we look back at the FBI document that relates to Hitler's submarine landing in Argentina, it says the sub came ashore and Hitler, 2 women, a doctor, disembarked. You have Hitler with serious medical conditions. a medical facility at the Villa Winter. Then Hitler arrived by submarine, accompanied by a doctor. It's all aligned.
Between the tunnels for the U-boat and this house, this would be the perfect place for Hitler to recuperate on his way to Argentina.
باب که مطمئن شده امکان استفاده هیتلر از جزایر قناری به عنوان ایستگاهی در مسیر آمریکای جنوبی وجود دارد، تمرکز خود را به مسیر دیگر تحقیقات و جستجو برای زیردریایی غرق شده معطوف می‌کند.
Now we've got this team down in Argentina, which is run in a roadblock, and that's the weather. It's the winters coming on. But I think what we really need to do is push on the investigation, at least for this winter.
I agree.
I'm convinced there's a U-boat out there. I want to come back when the weather's better and find that damn thing. In the meantime, the evidence for Hitler landing in Argentina is very strong.
پیش از این در جریان تحقیقات گروه مستقر در آمریکای جنوبی مدارک FBI را ردیابی کرد که حاکی از پیاده شدن هیتلر از یک زیردریایی در نزدیکی شهر بندری سن آنتونیو اوسته در آرژانتین بود.
She claims that from her kitchen window she saw the submarine.
و همچنین گزارشات نیروی دریایی آرژانتین درباره زیردریایی آلمانی را خواندند.
What happened to the sub?
I don't know.
و یک مهره کلیدی نازی به نام جرالدو لاوسن را یافتند که در این منطقه فعال بود.
I'm firmly confident that Hitler very well could have landed in San Antonio Oeste. The question is, where did he go next? He's not going to sit here where he got off the U-boat, and especially if it was scuttled. There's too much risk.
If we go to some of these other documents, one, an FBI document indicating that once this U-boat arrives in Argentina, there's a trip inland towards the foothills of the southern Andes. The party arrived at the ranch where Hitler and his party are now hiding. Another document I have here is stating that Hitler is living in an immense German estate in Patagonia. So according to multiple sources, Hitler was moving inland.
Well, it's Patagonia. They're going for the mountains. They're going for a remote area. So what we're looking for is German communities. And if you keep going across South America, you will come to San Carlos de Bariloche. Bariloche is the Berlin of Argentina.
باریلوچه مدت‌های مدید مرکز جنایتکاران جنگی نازی بود. افسر اطلاعاتی نازی راینارد کاپس که به جرم جنایت علیه بشریت تحت تعقیب بود، در 86 سالگی در باریلوچه از دنیا رفت و اریک پریپکه، کاپیتان نیروی پلیس SS و رهبر قتل عام 325 ایتالیایی، آزادانه به عنوان یک معلم مدرسه در اینجا زندگی می‌کرد تا آنکه در 1995 دستگیریش خبرساز شد.
This isn't the kind of place where you have to hide out. The German community there goes way back. It's rooted there. It's the kind of colony that Hitler could feel comfortable, protected.
We're only going to get one shot at it. Some of the people in this area, even today, are not friendly to outsiders.
If that report's right, that we're looking for an immense German-owned estate, Bariloche is a good place to start.
Absolutely.
We need to get people out there right now.
Let's see what we can find.
After World War II, up towards 48, I mean, this place became Nazi central.
تیم کندی و جرارد ویلیامز با اتکا به گزارشات افشا شده درباره حضور هیتلر در پاتاگونیا تحقیقات خود را در باریلوچه آغاز می‌کنند که روستای دورافتاده میان مرزهای آرژانتین و شیلی است و برای مدت‌ها محل اختفای نازی‌های فراری بوده است.
This place is isolated, it's remote, there's no access. It was protected from the rest of the world.
You don't even realize all the hidden secrets that are here.
JP سروانتس مأمور ویژه که تمام زندگیش را وقف محافظت از اهداف ارزشمند کرده آنها را همراهی می‌کند. باب او را به گروه اضافه می‌کند تا در یافتن این اجتماع در همتنیده آلمان‌ها به آنها کمک کند.
This is not my first time in Bariloche. I was here before training with the Argentine military. According to them, back in the 40s, their primary mission was to guard SS officers that were here. Not only support hiding, but actually protecting it. If you're not from here, they will not tell you anything about it. You just don't come into Bariloche and start asking questions about Nazis.
Hundreds of Nazis came here at the end of World War II. So this really is a place of security. This is a refuge. It may all be chocolate shops, Bavarian buildings, but most of these will hide a secret. And that secret after 70 years needs to be told.
گروه برای تحقیق در باریلوچه نقشه‌ای طراحی می‌کند.
Let's say at 1600, meet back here.
All right, guys, take care.
جرارد اماکن احتمالی را که در گزارشات به عنوان املاک آلمان ها معرفی شده بررسی خواهد کرد.
Muchas gracias.
تیم و جی پی مناطق ورود و خروج باریلوچه را برای گردآوری اطلاعات درباره چگونگی وارد شدن هدفی مهم همچون هیتلر به این اجتماع جستجو می‌کنند.
In special forces, I help people get from one point to another. First thing I gotta look at all the ports of entry. How am I gonna get transportation in here? So if I wanna move somebody here, of course, I'm gonna use the rail line. You know how a lot of train stations are like in the middle of the town? Yeah. This one is in the outskirts.
It's isolated, it's private. If I was gonna be wanting to move somebody in and out, this is how you'd want the train to be located.
So according to this, the first train that came to Bariloche was in 1934.
This has been operational for 11 years before Hitler's escape.
تیم و جی پی برای آنکه مشخص کنند هیتلر چگونه با موفقیت از آخرین مکان مورد نظر آنها در فاصله 650 کیلومتری و بعد از پیاده شدن از زیر دریای به باریلوچه بیاید از مدیر ایستگاه سوالاتی می‌کنند.
Does this track go all the way to San Antonio Oeste?
Estas vías van hasta el océano, hasta San Antonio Este.
Hasta San Antonio Este, sí.
¿Sí?
That line has run since 1934.
Y nunca paró, ¿eh?
Were there any private trains, like people that shipped their cargo using their own trains, or any private boxes?
Anteriormente sí, los Lawson.
Yep.
Se han criado para eso, para llevar animales, para llevar la lana.
As soon as I hear the word Lawson, I have in my head Lawson from San Antonio Oeste.
گزارشات قبلی FBI گروه را متوجه جرالد لاوسن، یک آلمانی ثروتمند می‌کند که برای امپراتوری پشم‌لیسی خود در آرژانتین حکمرانی می‌کرد.
Lawson is the central figure in San Antonio Este. This is a guy who could do anything he wanted. Hitler have to have somebody like a Lawson.
Lawson had been moving wool and people from San Antonio Oeste to Bariloche. All of these dots were absolutely unequivocally supporting each other.
جرارد ترتیب ملاقات با یک کارشناس محلی را درباره معماری باریلوچه می‌دهد. او اطلاعاتی درباره محلی دارد که با توصیف گزارشات افشا شده درباره ملکی اسرارآمیز که به نام خانه اینالکو شناخته می‌شود همخوانی دارد.
Buenas tardes. What can you tell me about the house?
Well, the Inalco house is like, it's kind of a mystery. Everybody talks about it. You know, it was pointed many times as being a place of Nazi meetings, and the legends tells about the whole thing with the Hitler's house. You know, it's a kind of a creepy place.
سالهاست شایعاتی در این باره وجود دارد که شخص هیتلر در این قصر دورافتاده پناه گرفته بود. خانه اینالکو کیلومترها با تمدن فاصله دارد و تنها راه دسترسی به آن دریاچه مقابلش می باشد. 180 هکتار جنگل متراکم در 3 جهت آن قرار دارد و 2 جزیره ساحلی آن را به طور کامل از دید عموم پنهان می کند.
So is it possible to get onto the land, to see the house?
Well, it's very, very difficult. There's nobody, it's not you can call a real estate agent that will show you the place or get to the manager. It's like a secrecy around it, you know? The actual location of the house is kind of weird because there weren't even roads, any kind of roads there, you know? You will be trespassing, so you better not go there, you know?
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I think we will go there. I've been doing this story for over 10 years now. A story like this, people are covering up all over the place. And it's actually quite hard work trying to find out what those secrets are and why they're a secret.
It's really, really difficult.
We'll go and have a look anyway.
So this is the Inalco house.
Got it.
تیم کندی، جرالد ویلیامز و جی پی سروانتس، مأمور ویژه و کارشناس مأموریت‌های نظامی در باریلوچه، اطلاعات موجود درباره قصر اینالکو را بررسی می‌کنند. این همان ملکی است که گفته می‌شود هیتلر ماه‌ها پس از به اصطلاح مرگش در آنجا پنهان شده بود.
The lot is bought in 1940 by Jorge Antonio, who's the head of Mercedes-Benz in Argentina. Funnily enough, also one of the top Nazis here. The property itself is finished in 45, and then it sort of goes quiet for a decade.
So 1945, a super rich German, part of the Nazi party, owns this property.
Yeah. You know, we're not talking about a small property. We're talking a mansion 40 miles away from anywhere with a large farm behind it, which makes them pretty much self-sufficient.
You know, in Afghanistan with bin Laden, one of the very unique things about his mansion was that it was entirely self-sufficient in regards to him not needing ever to leave it. This seems to replicate that. If I'm gonna hide a high-value target, this is perfect. So how do we get in here?
That's the big question.
This is not going to be easy in terms of any legal access to it at all.
This is Green Berets. Like, we go into places behind enemy lines all the time. It's all about having a plan and executing that plan without being detected. All right, we can't gain access from the road. I think one of the clearest ways to get there is to go by the beach.
Okay. We do have to be aware that if there is a caretaker there, we are in Argentina. I know you guys are used to guns around, but he may well be carrying a weapon of some sort.
So we don't, we don't want to get a boat way too close to the house. How about we keep the boat away from the beach, but close enough for you to make a swim there?
All right, so we have Island 1, which is Big Island. Say Island 2. My recommendation is you and I on a boat, just fishermen, cruising around, right? Fishing good spots on the backside of this island. Now, line of sight from the house, line of sight's difficult to see anything going through there. I slip into the water and do a surface swim and try to get some photos, slip out of the water, take a camera, and get out of town. I'm trying to understand how feasible it is for this house to hide Hitler. JP and I, we go and assess locations to see if it's suitable for a high-value target all the time. I'm thinking about security measures, about a defense plan, any safe rooms, places to hide him. There's a lot of factors that we have to investigate. We have to get on here. We can't be compromised. ¿Listo?
Buenos días.
Está bien.
¿Cómo estamos? ¿Todo bien?
JP و تیم بعد از کرایه یک قایق ماهیگیری راه خود را به ملکی باز می‌کنند که بنابر گزارشات FBI می‌توانسته مخفیگاه ادولف هیتلر باشد.
So the house should be tucked away a little bit. There it is. I saw something. Can you turn around? Right there.
Over there?
Yeah, over here. Slow down a little bit. See it? It's like a little guard shack. If you put a machine gun right there, you can cover this entire body of water, and nothing can get through, right?
The distance, the high ground, that's perfect angle. You can have grazing fire, and you can cover more terrain from there.
If we have someone like Hitler hiding in this house, you start looking at how you're going to control the access and monitor any traffic that is on the lake. You want a guard would give him early warning. That guard post is a perfect place to do it. Let's go a little bit to the left here, to the island.
Y nos vamos por la izquierda de la isla, por favor.
گروه میان جزایر حرکت می‌کنند تا در زمان نزدیک شدن به قصر دیده نشوند.
We just got to see if anybody's in there first, and then we'll see how far we can push the pocket.
I'll be watching. I got your back all the way from the boat.
Yeah. Army Special Forces, our patch boasts our capability to land, sea, and air.
All right, we're 50 meters away, Tim.
Any way to get to our objective area, we can get there.
Go.
People have this weird perception of what being stealth is all about. What it's really about is being the slowest thing out there. JP, comms check.
Read you loud and clear.
All set. I'm gonna move up to this first building, see if I can get a vantage point where I can see the house without kind of giving myself away.
Roger. Be careful. We have to be very careful in how we approach this. You know, we're not in combat. Rules of engagement are completely different. If we are shot at here, we can shoot back.
We got eyes on the house.
Roger that.
Doesn't look like there's any activity here at the house. There's no smoke, there's no lights on, all the doors look buttoned up.
Yeah, I don't see anything from my side either. I mean, it looks like nobody's been here.
Go ahead and send the crew. We'll be clear to come in, guys.
Roger.
از آنجایی که سرایداری در قصر دیده نمی شود، یک فیلمبردار در ساحل اینالکو به تیم ملحق می شود.
The house, it's gigantic. There's 3 chimneys here, 2 doors, about 15 to 17 windows. To build something like this in the 40s, you have to boat in every single piece. It's crazy. These people were powerful, rich, and they wanted privacy. I'm on the lake side of the house right now.
I got eyes on you.
I'm gonna try to do a little bit more recon.
Roger. I'll be standing by.
Obviously, we got a dock here for boats, but I can't even figure out what this is. This thing is crazy sturdy. You have these beams right here, they're like raised up. Then in between them, you have a whole bunch of super thick, I mean, there's like 4-inch thick boards. JP, is Tim? Yeah, I found what I think is a ramp for a seaplane coming right up to the front of this property. This location is completely secluded. But if you're isolated like this, you're gonna come in by boat. It's vulnerable. Everything can see you, but seaplane access is different. It's perfect for a high-value target. You know, you can hook a winch up right there and pull the seaplane in. And the construction of this ramp is so solid.
Stop, stop, stop. I got movement. I got somebody coming out of the house. He's walking towards you.
تیم کندی در حین کاوش قصر اینالکو که گزارشات افشا شده آن را به عنوان مخفیگاه احتمالی برای آدولف هیتلر معرفی کرده بودند، متوجه می شود این ملک آنقدرها هم که به نظر می آید متروکه نیست.
Can you see what he's doing?
Hey, Tim, it seems like he went back inside the house. I don't see movement, so you should be good to go.
Just hop in the water and we're coming with you.
با توجه به اینکه سرایدار ممکن است هر لحظه بازگردد، تیم و فیلمبردار از ساحل فاصله می‌گیرند.
The reconnaissance of the Inalco house was partially successful. We have a ton of photos, but there are still significant questions about this house that need to be answered.
Go.
Anybody that mans that guard tower with a machine gun can protect the entire point of entry or exit.
جان سنسیچ و باب بر اطلاعات گردآوری شده به وسیله تیم کندی را در مأموریت کاوش قصر اینالکو تحلیل می‌کنند.
This is self-contained, out in the middle of nowhere, and having seaplanes come in tells me that they had visitors that they didn't want seen. There's no other explanation. People who have guard towers are heads of state or wanted criminals. You simply do not need guard towers unless something else is going on in the property.
باب و جان نقشه‌های قصر اینالکو را تماماً یافتند.
This is the house facing, going in that direction is the same as the front here.
Yeah, it's facing the lake.
Further back here, probably a flower garden, and then there's another structure back here.
Which looks like a house to me. Normally in places like this, if you have a guest house, you put it off to the side. Or if it's servants' quarters, you put it far away from the house. Why would you, on an absolutely gorgeous lake like this, take a structure and put it behind another one?
If it's directly behind the principal residence, it can't be seen from the lake. And if it can't be seen from the lake, it can't be seen from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a principle of a safe house. You do not want to see activity. I think this house is flashing red. And now on top of it, we have a hidden house. What in God's name is going on here? We have to get in there and figure out what this house is about.
Tim's already had a potential confrontation with a caretaker. That's our biggest concern.
We cannot send a whole crew in there. We're going to be caught.
I think we need to send in only one person to minimize the risk.
And that's Cervantes. I mean, he's been down there, he speaks Spanish. Let's do this incrementally. First thing we should do is send in initial reconnaissance.
See if the caretaker or if there's any other security personnel in the area.
Then fly a drone over the place. We have to absolutely see what is in that rear house, what it was for. Let's see what they can find.
Si puede un poquito, por favor.
JP سروانتس به قصر اینالکو باز می‌گردد تا ملک را بررسی کند و نقشه ورودش را بکشد.
Looks clear on the left side. But as I was observing today, I was there for hours. I don't see any movement. So I decided to approach the house. I go into another beach 1 kilometer away from the house. Lentecito, lentecito. Perfecto, Nacho. To mask my movement from the house.
JP از پهباد پیشرفته مجهز به دوربینی کامل برای تصویر استفاده می‌کند تا ساختمان ناشناخته را که گروه در نقشه‌های اینالکو شناسایی کرده است بررسی کند.
This drone is an amazing system. We can see everything you want. I'm more interested in what's in the back, where that other building's supposed to be.
That is very interesting.
I am looking at the ground. There's supposed to be a house or a structure here. Nothing out there. That's a surprise. There's something strange here.
JP برای بررسی زمین محلی که قرار بوده این ساختمان در آن واقع باشد با استفاده از پوشش جنگل به پشت ملک می رود.
Some kind of ventilation shaft. What is even more weird is that it's away from the house. You know, it's like hiding here.
Air is going somewhere. Obviously, it's underground.
I would love to know what's down there.
Hey, what do you make of this, man? Check it out. This really caught my attention.
I mean, that looks to me to be a vent.
تیم کندی و مأمور ویژه JP سروانتس تصاویر مأموریت اکتشافی موفقیت آمیز خود را از اینالکو مرور می‌کنند. محلی که ماه‌ها پس از به اصطلاح مرگ آدولف هیتلر محل اقامت او بوده.
Where did you come across this vent?
Hold on, let me pull it up.
That's the back. There's supposed to be a house right here.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
See this? So that's like sunk, you know, is that maybe a collapsed subterranean area? I mean, anytime you have a principal, you're always going to have that safe room, right? It's going to be defensible.
Right.
Putting a guy in a bunker underneath a house like this, he could be perfectly safe and secure.
Yeah.
If there is ventilation shafts, there has to be some hidden bunker there. We have to go back and do our due diligence to research and investigate this location. We have something we need to go put ground proof on, have to put our eyes on it, need to figure out what it is.
تیم و JP در پناه تاریکی به قصر اینالکو باز می‌گردند تا دریچه هوایی را که فکر می‌کنند به یک پناهگاه زیرزمینی منتهی می‌شود بررسی کنند.
Man, I think it's just a little bit here.
آنها از نور قرمزی با طیف پایین استفاده می‌کنند تا احتمال دیده شدنشان کمتر شود. این نور در شب 1/10 شدت نور سفید را برای چشم انسان دارد.
Let me take point. Somewhere over here. Keep your eyes open to the left. Here we go. Right here. See it? Right there.
Yeah, got it.
Let me go ahead and get the snake out.
این دوربین فیبر نوری کوچک 2.5 سانتیمتری با کابلی سیمتری به آنها امکان می‌دهد از طریق شکاف تهویه به داخل نگاه کرده و متوجه شوند در تاریکی زیر زمین چه می‌گذرد.
It's like a small camera at the end of a lens that has its own light source. You can bend it and get it up inside of crevices, nooks, crannies, under doors. In this case, down what we think is a ventilation pipe.
And we are connected. I'm in. There we go. Now, are you getting that?
Yeah, I see it.
See that?
Yeah. Looks like there's a piece of metal support going across, you know, maybe a rebar. This is solid rebar. Why the hell do you have 3/4-inch thick rebar out in the middle of nowhere?
I think about the bottom, Tim.
This absolutely is something significant structure, maybe even a subterranean hidden bunker.
It looks like rubble down there.
It looks like it's been either collapsed or destroyed. Whoever lived there, they're trying to cover their tracks.
در قسمت آینده ردپای هیتلر.
She had some serious money.
A lot of money. And most importantly,
She was a Nazi.
Can you remember how long Hitler stayed in Mafalda?
Between 9 and 10 days after the Second World War.
It's confirmation that Hitler didn't die in the bunker in 1945.
Are you aware of anything planned into the hotel to protect important people?
Tunnels.
If we find evidence that there were tunnels here, Hitler really could have operated out of this hotel.
Stop it, just fell in.
Páralo ahí un momento.
1947 comes along and all of a sudden, Hitler is back on the radar.
I have nothing.
I have something right here. Turning a page and seeing the exact words that are in an FBI file takes your breath away for a second.
Yeah, it's definitely it. He was here.